All right. Well, let's get this party started. Welcome everyone to the Leader's Edge. Today, I'm excited to talk about today's conversation from a teaching standpoint because I think this is probably one of the most, if not the most critical thing that people need to practice on a regular basis to get good at their leadership. And I say it because without this skill set, uh, and there's actually two skill sets that we're going to talk about, but without this skill set, it makes leadership very difficult. And there's two aspects that I would bring to light in this conversation. Uh, Whenever I get to go out and talk about crucial conversations, which it's probably in the top three of the most talked about conversations in corporate training, in one-on-one coaching sessions. It's definitely in the top three of skill sets and things that need to be practiced. So that's why I say like I get excited every time I get to come in and talk about this. Crucial Conversations is broken out into two words. No joke, Rich. Thanks for overstating the obvious. Crucial is an evaluation of leadership. And the word evaluation, I think, is the prominent piece that I really want people to look at. You can, if you so choose, have a crucial conversation with yourself. And you could formally and mechanically go through the steps, the issue that I'm having, and the observations, the things I heard or saw, the things I think, how I'm making myself feel, what I want to replace this feeling, and what I propose to myself. Again, you could do this with yourself because everybody knows they have self-talk. The question becomes, do they use the right conversation with themselves? Without much thinking, most people, when we're talking to ourselves, we're beating ourselves up over missed opportunities or failures or how we handled situations. So for me, if you learn how to talk to yourself and give yourself the due respect that you deserve, then you'll have a better chance of actually changing the outcomes that you're looking for. So I could justify that crucial conversations can be done with a person in the mirror. I can definitely challenge that if you can look at another person, then you just have to evaluate certain things. The first part of the evaluation is a person doing the principle one uh, activities the way they're supposed to with the spirit that they're supposed to. This is, leaders get so busy doing things that they don't stop and evaluate each person. So when I think about the example that I would say is when I stop and look at a person, I think about principle one. I think about the vision, the goals. I think about the role and the strengths and weaknesses of the person. I think about the values and character. I think about the standards. I think about the habits that they have, and I see a lot of opportunity. Nobody's perfect. So just thinking about the mechanics of principle one leadership, lead yourself. If you can stop and evaluate someone, you can actually see where the gaps are in how they're showing up. I just got done with a conversation just now that was a leader that was having two challenges, two different people. And I actually brought in a third challenge when I listened to their story and said, you have three challenges. You have three opportunities as a crucial conversation. Did you fill out the sheet or are you just going at it emotionally? She said, I'm just going at it emotionally. I said, I just want to encourage you. fill out the sheet until you get good at the sheet. The first crucial conversation was based on somebody lied to her. That's moral character. And I think the spirit, it's not a malicious thing. I think the spirit behind the lie was the guy was people pleasing her. Her first issue was a person that uh, she was giving him an opportunity to work more hours, and he declined when 3 weeks ago he said, I need more hours. A lot of confusion there. That's just an opportunity and an evaluation and a crucial conversation. So you can see in one coaching session, I already got to one. Second person, the person's underperforming at the activities of the role. Underperforming at the activities of the role simply says that somebody wasn't doing the things that they were supposed to be doing or wasn't doing them to the standard that they were supposed to be doing. And I said, is it a hard work? Is it a perseverance? And I just went right down the two types of character, performance and moral. And I went right down the sheet with her. And she says, it's an accountability, it's a persistence. And I said, great. Now you get to go have a difficult conversation with them and say, this is what I saw you do. This is what I think is that I don't think you're accepting responsibility. You're not accountable to how you're showing up. And it's frustrating me because it's lowering the standard and the performance of the team. What I want is you to get better at this. Here's my proposal on how you're going to get better. And the how is a crucial part of the process. After we get through the proposal, then we land with commitment and we ask that person for commitment. But then I heard that their leadership was being very reactive and they were reacting to what some of their clients were saying about these two people. And I had to say, have you cast vision for like what growth and development looks like for your clients? No? Good. Go have a crucial conversation with them because I think they're a little judgmental and they're not showing enough grace and mercy to your team that isn't supposed to be good yet. Now you have three crucial conversations that this person just now is now prepared to do. So when we get into this session, there, I think the biggest thing that people make the mistake on is they don't have white space time. They don't have time to stop and think about performance. They don't have time to stop and think about character. They don't have time to stop and think, and that's the problem. How can you evaluate anything on the fly? Because you're going to misrepresent the evaluation. And if you're on the fly, then you don't slow down and fill out the crucial conversation sheet. Now, that's one part of what I'd like to, just really encourage people to is that crucial conversations, the wins and the gaps review is part of the process. And you get to look at another person or your own wins and gaps, and you just get to document them. Then the second step of the process is to get really good at the mechanics behind the crucial conversation, where you know what an issue is, which is just an opportunity to restate or clarify the issue that's being discussed in this conversation. Too often we bring old, drudged up things back into a conversation instead of just sticking with the issue and clarifying what the issue is. Second, it's the observation. The things that my eyes see or my ears heard that are contributing to the issue. The third is thinking, and too often people have a lot of random thoughts and it's not organized in this. And then the last one is feelings. Too often people put their thinking into the feelings. Just this weekend, I had one of my clients send me a crucial conversation. This is a crucial conversation that this individual has avoided for 8 years. And now imagine how difficult it's going to be to have the crucial conversation with an underperforming employee when you've avoided it for 8 years. You've just tried to keep the peace. That's why you can't avoid them. You have to have them more often. because if you don't have them more often and you go 8 years, it's that much more difficult to even get the person to listen to you. It's going to be foreign to them, and it's a leader's opportunity. But when this individual sent me the worksheets and said I filled them out, tell me what I did wrong, he put four thoughts inside of the feeling category around justifying why he's frustrated. That's just, you have to remove all of the thoughts and put them in the thinking category to do this right. Because anytime that somebody successfully has a crucial conversation, when they can look at another person deadpan in the eyes and have already expressed what the observations were and already expressed what the thoughts were, and just look at them and say, and it leaves me frustrated. That doesn't need tone and it doesn't need body language. It's sharp enough of a word on its own that it lands every time. Now, if you're going to use tone, you're going to get attitude back from somebody. If you're going to use body language, you're going to get attitude back from somebody. That's why when you're delivering these conversations, you have to really eliminate the attitude that you have, because if you're frustrated, then you probably have an attitude inside of you, and just say, it leaves me frustrated. Let that person interpret it. But then you're going to shift to a more intentional part of the conversation and say, this is what I want. And this is your idea to, to share with them, like, I want to close the gap on your underperformance where you're doing this, this, and this. This is what I want instead. And here's my proposal. And the proposal is the how to fix the problem. Now, one of the things that I'm very, very aware of when I do, and you guys get to do the same thing, I'm going to teach you a little secret hacks in this system. If you have done all of the assessments, and again, I'm going to put the new assessment link in the chat box in a minute. I've been sharing this each week for the last 2 weeks. So I want you to take this link down because it has the intercapacity assessment, the leadership assessment, and the business audit all in one link now. Makes it user friendly and easy. But what I've just so you guys can go with where I go with this. What the problem is the issue. And most people can see issues a mile away. How to fix the problem in your proposal will test each and every one of your problem-solving skills. And if you're over here telling me in the leadership assessment that you're a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5 when it comes to problem solving, and you don't know how to solve the problem in your proposal, then you're going to start to see that you have gaps in your own awareness of whether you're a problem solver or not. Most leaders know what the problems are. The majority of leaders don't know how to solve problems. And I think that's a big gap we have. Why we have such a leadership deficit is problem solving is something that is a developable skill. And most people just think they're naturally gifted at it. And I just disagree with it because I keep hearing over and over and over again what the problem is, but I never hear, and this is how we're going to fix it. That's why coaching is so prominent. Each of you, especially if there's people in here that are part of the Fit Body Boot Camp ecosystem, you could see what the problem is. Obesity. You can see what the problem is. They have a poor nutritional program. You can see what the problem is. They don't show up all the time. But how to fix the problem takes more influence. It takes more effort. And that's why the proposal has to be an ongoing how. I will tell you that the S's in the DISC system are supposed to be naturally gifted at this. But if an S has too much insecurity, they're not going to be naturally gifted at this because the insecurity is out in front of their natural giftedness. Their weakness is bigger than their strength. Now, once you get to the point where you are successful at stating a proposal, you get to state your commitment. I encourage people to keep this simple. I am 100% committed to doing my job. I'm 100% committed to doing the role the company has hired me to do, and I'm 100% committed to helping you overcome this issue. Now I have three commitments, and I do that because I've answered the triangle. I'm always looking for win, win, win. The triangle has the company at the top, me at the lower left-hand point of the triangle, and the other person at the lower right-hand corner. I'm trying to create win, 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 so I'm saying I'm 100% committed to it. Then you get to look at them and say, how committed are you to my proposal? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being 100%, 10 out of 10 committed. Now, the interesting answer is the only right answer is 10. If there's any hesitancy in commitment to draw back from the proposal, that's your gap, and that's the how in the gap you have to close. So you first have to commit and get them to commit to 100% to resolving it. Otherwise, they're not going to resolve it. You're going to have the problem go on, and that is a problem in itself. Now, one of the key ingredients that I'm going to just share with you when it comes to crucial conversations, if you feel like the person is going to interrupt you too much, just remind them, I don't want you to interrupt me right now. I'll give you the microphone when it's time. I'll ask you a question when it's time for you to speak, but let me get through this flow. Second thing is if you are not gifted at the repetition, if you haven't developed your skill of having crucial conversation, it is 100% a-okay to bring your sheets to the conversation, and you get to look at the person and say, I've got two requests. Don't interrupt me, and can I have your permission to read this because I want to do a really good job for you? They say yes, and you say, my issue is, my observations are, my thinking is, because if you write it all out, you will eliminate your concern to screw it up. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to recap this. Two parts to this. Most people screw both of them up, and that's a reflection of their leadership. First, you have to sit and evaluate yourself, and you have to sit and evaluate people, and you just have to get brutally honest in your evaluation. Where are my issues, and how am I going to solve them? Where are their issues? It is your job as a leader to solve other people's issues. Holly, I could say even this, like when you know what somebody says they want, you will see issues in their action for them getting it when it comes to the financial world. So it's your ability to say, okay, cool. I can see that this prospect says they want something, but they don't take action on it. That just creates an issue that you can have a crucial conversation on. It can be client facing as much as it is internal. It can be spousal, it can be children, it can be everything. What this ultimately is a communication tool. Now, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to say that's where I want to park the teaching. I want you guys to think about all components of it, the evaluation and the actual structured process that empowers you to be successful at having crucial or difficult conversations with people. There's two parts to it. There's a little bit of nuance in there. Don't ask them not to speak. It's okay to read it. And you have to practice this. You have to repeatedly do this to get really good at this. Now, where do you guys come about with the questions in the process? That's what I'd like to know.